Welcome to Arirang Live. It's 11 a.m. here in Seoul, and I'm Kim Dami. In just a minute, we're going to cross over to the latest briefing from the South Korean health authorities on the COVID-19 outbreak. This is the first briefing of the day, and as it came on the air, we learned that the country has reported 9 new COVID-19 cases. That brings the total to 10,683 as of midnight Tuesday. In fact, the figure has returned to a single digit on Tuesday after 2 days when the country reported 8 new cases on Sunday. 5 of the newly reported cases are imported cases. And the briefing is about to begin, so let's take a listen.
We also have Mr. Chung Chol-ho attending, and we have a sign language translation available. Here is Mr. Yoon Tae-ho on the briefing on the COVID-19 outbreak in South Korea. Let us now begin our regular briefing for April 21st, Tuesday. As of today, midnight, we have 9 new cases, and the total number stands at 10,683. Currently, we have a total of 2,233 people in quarantine under treatment, and we have 1 more fatality standing at 237. And I extend my deepest condolences to those who have passed away and the members of the bereaved families. Out of the 9 new cases, 4 were reported here in Korea, and we have 5 cases that have been identified as imported cases. We have 3 reported at the airport quarantine, and 1 of them are foreign national, with the majority being Korean nationals. And Prime Minister Chung Se-kyun convened a KCC meeting this morning, and he touched upon the issues of the relatively ease social distancing campaign, as well as the measures to reopen the outdoor dispersed facilities. And Prime Minister Chung Se-kyun said that today marks the 2nd day of relatively eased social distancing, and he urged the public to refrain from indoor and cluster activities. And starting from today, he said that the outdoor facilities will be open, and we will also open the outdoor sports facilities. And he urged the public that they need to refrain from large group dining or gatherings before or after their sports. And he also said that if and when the cluster infections also become widespread, we need to immediately return to intensified and enhanced social distancing measures. And he said that the municipalities also need to identify cases at an early stage, and he stressed that a frequent sampling test is very crucial. And we are seeing continued dwindling number of the confirmed cases, and this was all thanks to the public efforts to embrace the inconveniences and taking part in the continued social distancing measures. And we also believe that this was possible thanks to the dedication put forth by the medical staff. However, we had some events like the general elections, and we also have the cluster infections through community, and therefore the KCC has announced that we will extend the relatively eased social distancing until May 5th. We ask for the public to continue to partake in our measures so that our efforts put so far do not be in vain. Today, the government had meetings, and we also touched upon the phasal opening of the public facilities. And we also discussed measures to transform ourselves into the everyday life quarantine. And considering the level of risk of infection, we will prepare the opening of the indoor facilities as well. And we will also evaluate the measures on the everyday life quarantine. And also, we will be rolling out our new guidelines that will be put in place after May 5th. And we will provide these guidelines as soon as possible so that they can be spread to the public, and the public can know about these before they come come in full effect. And these guidelines will be tentatively released tomorrow, and also they would be released by categories in draft form on Friday. And to this end, we will be opening our ears to the opinions of experts, and then we will have a finalized version of the guidelines. And in order to have a smooth transition into the everyday life quarantine, we will have related teams and TF teams consisting of the PEN government ministries. And moreover, we will have basic guidelines as well as the legal grounds, and we will revise the Infectious Disease Act so that we can have a smooth transition into these guidelines. And the following is about the outdoor sports facilities opening. And we also will be considering reopening of the 24,000 outdoor facilities nationwide. And these will be reviewed by the municipalities, and they will decide whether they can open these facilities. And they will be beginning to be opened starting from this year. And however, when it comes to the reopening of the outdoor sports facilities, these facilities must abide by the quarantine regulations. And these quarantine regulations include the restrictions on use of people who have visited abroad for the past 2 weeks and who have symptoms, as well as wearing of the face masks and body temperature screening of all users. Moreover, events and fans like the fans for these outdoor sports facilities will be carried out in a limited basis. And next is about the public parks and botanical gardens that will be open phasally. And depending on the infectious risks of infection, we will have walk trails and partially open, and partial of the parking lots will be opened. And the camping places as well as botanical gardens will be open on a phasal basis. And the zoos as well as public botanical gardens, they will be open based on the conditions that they abide by the quarantine authorities. As well as these 15 botanical gardens and public zoos have been put on closure, and only 5 zoos around the country have been partially opened. And regarding this resumption of operation starting from tomorrow, the public forest parks and botanical gardens, recreational forests will resume operation starting from tomorrow. However, lodging facilities will not be opened. And as for the camping places, they will be limited to limited numbers within each forest parks and botanical gardens. And also among the private-run forest parks, these also will be resuming their operation based on the guidelines that are provided by the government. And also going forward, we will be opening the lodging facilities for people with capacity with less than 7 people. And these will also extend to large-scale lodging facilities going forward. And as we are seeing a good weather these days, I believe that many people are trying to resume their outings and public outdoor gatherings. And how we also have a major holiday in the end of April to early May. However, we believe that cluster infections are still happening, and there are still high risks of such infections. Therefore, we also continue to ask the public to partake in our quarantine measures. And especially as we have a large temperature difference daily, you may have flu-like symptoms. If you have symptoms like fever or fever, cough, or sneezing, we ask you to refrain from going to work and stay at home for the next 3 to 4 days, and cancel or postpone non-essential gatherings and meetings. And also abide by the personal hygiene measures like washing of your hands and coughing etiquettes. The quarantine authorities will also not let our guards down, and we will continue to have strict monitoring on the outbreak. Despite the coronavirus outbreak, we were able to achieve such success, and we are garnered as a model nation throughout the international community thanks to the high level of civil awareness shown by the public, and we ask you to take part in such measures going forward. Thank you very much.
지금부터 질의응답 시간을 가지겠습니다. 배석자분들은 단상 위로 올라와 주시기 바랍니다.
There you have it. And now to wrap up the briefing, South Korea has confirmed 9 new cases on Tuesday morning, bringing the total number to 10,683. And with one additional death, the death toll stands at 237. Over 7,900 people have fully recovered and been sent home. We'll bring you more details in our upcoming newscast at 12 p.m. Until then, goodbye.